Well, the world has sure gone nutty, buddy, even downright cruddy, buddy. Wish I missed the past, buddy, but there's still Buddycast. No, don't be naughty, go meet everybody here on Buddycast.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder and host of Buddycast, Nick Sorensen.
Boom buddies, and welcome to everybody's favorite show, Buddycast. I'm your host, Nick Sorensen. Today we got a very, very special episode. We got not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 buddies joining us today. We have our buddies from Mighty Fine Donuts. How you buddies doing today?
Good.
Great.
Awesome. You guys call yourself the Mighty Five?
Yep.
We do.
Awesome. First off, let's get some introductions. Let's go around the room, starting with Steven, then we'll go around, anyway, whoever wants to chime in next with a little introduction. Tell us your name. Tell us a little fun fact about you. Keep it buddy appropriate, of course.
All right. So my name is Steven Reichard. I am one of the 5 owners of the Mighty Five, obviously. Something exciting about myself. I really don't have anything exciting. I can't think of anything. My hobbies are business basically, and Mighty Fine is probably the newest venture for me, along with some of my other ones.
Wonderful.
I'm Doug Robinson, and something exciting, I think, for all of us, I'll speak for Steve, is we're all from Erie, and that's what's going to tie into what we're going to talk about from here. I'm an avid golfer. I unfortunately love the NFL. The Miami Dolphins have been a thing I love, but if you watched them last weekend, it was not as exciting as it should have been. But no, that's my story.
Wonderful.
I guess that would make it me. Hi, I'm Sherry Robinson. And yeah, very excited to talk about everything today. And I guess it's kind of an interesting fact. I'm the only girl in all of this. So yeah, exciting.
Hey, you put all these guys in line, don't you?
They'll let me, no, they do great. But, I guess it's a definitely brings a different energy. They can talk more about that.
Nice. I'm Brad Braggins, and one thing I'm excited about, this is my first opportunity being a small business owner. So, just learning, the ins and outs and getting used to all that and working with a great team has been wonderful. So just looking forward to keep it going.
Wonderful.
I'm Michael Myotis. I've been excited my whole life, I feel. I like to hang out. I like to have a good time. I like to hang out with people and spread love.
Awesome. So like I said, you guys call yourself the Mighty Five. How did the Mighty Five come to be?
Otis, you can answer that one.
I don't know. I just thought of it. It just popped in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where.
I remember this. We were sitting there we were having a discussion about changing the name, and Otis just out of the blue on a call like this, someone said, "What are we going to change like our LLC to?" And he goes, "How about Mighty Five?" And we all looked at each other. We're like, "Okay."
Mm-hmm.
I've been naming chicken wings for a long time, so we like to come up with names. I have names for my trailers. I have names for my vans. It's me and my other business partner, Joe. We like to name things. So
Nice.
skill that I have.
Yep. How did the business partnership come to be?
Doug, that's you, man.
All right. Let me run with this idea here. So how it came about, truly, you'll learn this as we go along. We all have a love and a passion and a story before we even talked about doing this for Mighty Fine Donuts. And like I said, you'll hear that again from all. But my wife actually knew Carly Brigham, who's the daughter of Kevin. And one day my wife said, "Hey, Mighty Fine Donuts might go up for sale, I heard." And I went, "If it ever does, let me know." Well, inside discussions with like my sister and, others here, we kind of talked about it a little bit. But then I got a real heads up saying this is really going to go on the market. And I literally went, if this goes on the market, then immediately I want to make sure that we get in there and talk about it. So from there, a little history. Otis, as you know, owns Otis 12. and my sister Sherry, well, we have our marketing company. Well, at one point we talked about doing a second Otis, and we kind of went through that, and a couple of reasons didn't work out. It was just very difficult, and it wasn't on our end, as Otis and Sherry could tell you. It was trying to get into the places we were trying to do. But we already started this about, was it 5-6 years ago, guys? We looked into doing that. So the three of us already wanted to go down this road. Well, Brad and my cousin Steve have asked me multiple times through the years. Brad's always said this is his first venture into the business owning and loving it already, right, Brad? But he came to me and we had different ideas, just certain things here and there, and he always wanted to do it. So it was always in my mind if the opportunity came. And then with my cousin Steve, we were just coaching football a few months ago with our kids, and again, Otis and others, but said one day we need to do something. Well, when Mighty Fine came about and I knew the spot, I literally wrote down a bunch of names and went, all right, I want to go through this, and went right down the line. And this was the original 4 and myself that it came up to. And with that, there's some funny things you're going to hear, but as I went down the line and said, what is Sherry good at? What is Otis good at? What is Steve? What is Brad? And what are the things we need to do so we don't go in this as an individual and try to do this on our own, because it's almost impossible. And we can all talk about that in the business owning world. But I just went through and called. And the thing I could say that is the most exciting for me is everyone I called, as soon as they got the call, there was zero hesitation. It was immediately like, I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it. When I brought up who I'm thinking is our team, no one hesitated on anything. Everyone was all about it. And it was pretty easy. That's how it kind of came about. And then from there, I set up the meeting with the realtor. We all went in and sat down, and it's just been meeting after meeting. And here we are now owning it and running with it. And we'll be able to share more of that. But that's kind of how it all sparked. And the funny side is the Mighty Five was Otis was throwing a line out there of it. And it's been that going forward.
Wonderful. So for each and every one of you, what was like the deciding factor to go in on this idea, to be presented with this idea? Like, hey, let's go and take over this Erie business and keep it running. Like what truly set you in on, you know what, I'm in?
Honestly, for me, I didn't want to see it leave. So just like you, and why you're interviewing us, is I don't think anybody in this group wanted to see it leave. It's got a special heart or special place in all of our hearts, and we wanted to basically keep it going for the community and for ourselves, and try and expand this thing and let everybody know that they're the best donuts in the country or the world.
You can't leave Erie, Pennsylvania without a Mighty Fine donut.
Right?
No, and then you have to come back to Erie, Pennsylvania because you need it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Every time someone asks me, like, if you could make like a care package for your home or something, first thing that comes to mind, well, you got to throw in a Mighty Fine donut there, next to the pepperoni ball and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's been really cool to just see from the other side, because we all know what we feel about Mighty Fine, but it's just been such a overwhelming welcome of, yes, you guys, we're in, we love this, do it. Everyone is behind it. Everyone loves that brand like it's their own. It's exactly what you're saying. It's what Steve said. But, for me, it was also just the brand itself. We know it's good. We know all these things. It was just like a perfect thing, already, and something that we could run with. And for me, it was also this team. These guys are incredible. They bring so much to it individually and collectively. I've watched them all work together. I've worked with them in different ways, and, no hesitation.
Wonderful. So tell me about like your first day as owners. What did it feel like to you guys?
Chaos.
That was a roller coaster. It was awakening. I mean, me being in the restaurant business, doing all the food and working with all different fryers, different foods. It's definitely a different business. It's an art. We knew from the door it's going to be a lot of work, and we had a good time though. We're still having a good time, but first day was it was an interesting ride so far. So
I'd say exciting from my end, because something about all of us, obviously Sherry's my sister, Steve's my cousin, but all the life been there. But Otis and Brad actually knew each other before I even knew them. But I think a year or two before, playing Little League baseball. But I mean, Otis, I've known you since 8, and Brad since 9. And the other cool part is all of us have met somehow through time years ago. So doing all the stuff we did, we played on a team somehow, whether it was softball, whether it was football, and Sherry played with us in the co-ed leagues and everything. But we've all done something. So to get to come in the business end and do this now, that's the cool part. But I would say Brad can really explain this from the scary end. I mean, he's the one doing the donuts and the craft part of it. I mean, what do you think? You might want to tell me.
When I say scary, I mean, we manufacture donuts, and kind of the production aspect of it fell onto me. And day one, I'm by myself. When you're in there by yourself, trying to figure out, okay, how many do we need to make, and are we making them right? And so the feedback has been wonderful, and it's been great. But every night there's a little bit of that scariness, like, all right, am I doing this right, or how do I improve? Kind of just looking on those aspects. So, but it's been pretty great so far.
Wonderful. And I want to address a community concern, because I've seen this a lot, just on the promotion that I put out there. You guys are keeping everything as is, correct?
Yes.
I'd say the three things that we got asked the most, if you guys, number one is, are we changing the name? And no, the name stayed the same. Number two, are we changing the taste? And as Brad just mentioned, all of us trying to make sure everything we can do that's not changing. And then number three, everyone asked about the staff. The staff, we need to talk about them. I think they've been there. There's been somewhat guys, 30 plus, 20 plus, and then 10. When they came up to us, and I think the person that was there the longest said 1.5 years, we're like, okay. And the next person was like 7 years. So the staff is amazing. Obviously the Brigham that started this in 1967, but his dad, Glenn, but then Kevin, who took it over the last few years. Obviously him and the staff just had a great connection, and they love it there. We kind of joke with them at times and go, do you guys really understand what you've done here as far as what we all got as kids and in the community? It's just amazing. So we're blessed to have the staff that we have. We brought some new people in, but I always tell everyone as they bring them in, because I handle the human resource and the hiring, and I always tell our team here, and then I tell the new people, you're coming into a family that's been here for a long time. So understand when you come in, don't disrupt, just come in and be a part of it and enjoy. But the staff has been phenomenal.
Wonderful. It sounds like each and every one of you has like a specialty in this partnership, like human resources, the baking. What do you all like? What role do you see yourselves play in this partnership?
You want me to go through the list, guys, or you want to go individually, or what's?
You can go through the list.
Go ahead.
All right. So, like I said, from my end, I handle the human resource, scheduling, hiring, hopefully never firing, but truly it's trying to build the team, the development of that. Steve handles all the technology. So the one thing about this that's important is it needs updated in a lot of ways. The previous owner had ideas and thoughts, but just time. He didn't have it because, again, we got 5 of us. He was doing it on his own. So some of the things he wanted to put into play, he couldn't as much. And then just some of this, that's what Steve does. He owns an IT company. He knows so many ins and outs in that stuff. Otis is going to be in charge of equipment and ordering supplies and all the stuff that he does from the restaurant on. He has so much experience from walking in there. For us, we didn't know as much of this, but Otis would look over at a simple thing equipment wise and have all the answers that we didn't quite know. So he's focusing on that and obviously jumping in other parts. As Brad mentioned, he is production. And before I get into Sherry and Brad's, I have to say this. When I went back to the original story and I said, this team's going to be great. Well, when we looked through and wrote down everything, the one thing that we didn't really know was the previous owner pretty much handled the production. So we were a little shell-shocked when we went in there for a tour. We're like, okay, well, Brad, you got to learn something new. And, as Brad likes to say, I've been doing it for 4 weeks. He's done it for 40? So, but Brad's doing the production and handling all that. And for 4 weeks into it, taste hasn't changed. He's doing a great job. He's overseeing all that. And then Sherry, from the marketing end, she's spearheading that as far as wholesale, which is we've had a lot of calls, and Sherry can talk about that, but she's spearheading that. And then just the overall image design and look. While we all have experience and are jumping into different ends, we kind of have someone with the lead on stuff. But I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to add, but that's kind of how it's been directed.
Oh, you covered that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And I love how you said, like, it's all a team effort. It's not just one person doing all this while the others, all right, you got this. We'll be over here. It sounds like, hey, if there's a decision need to be made, like, yes, you're more the human resources end, but if you ever have a decision that you're trying to bake on, like, okay, this guy's really not being a team player. What do I do? It's not just that huge weight on your shoulder. It's everyone's decision. Okay, hey, what do we do from here?
Yeah.
Right. Well, and I can tell you from my perspective, everybody is in that place multiple hours every day. For myself, obviously Brad's there like 8 hours a day, and then pops in and out. But I know Otis is there a lot, Sherry's there a lot, Doug's there a lot, I'm there a lot. So there's always an owner in and out of that building at least once a day.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Love that. Now, you guys, I gotta ask this question. What's your favorite donut? Each and every one of you. I know that's like asking who's your favorite kid, but
I love both my kids.
Yeah, but you like one more than the other one, though. That's always the fact.
It really depends on the day.
I'm a peanut butter chocolate fry cake guy. That's one of my favorite. Although our pinwheels are really, really good too. But I'll go peanut butter chocolate fry cake.
Mine is the chocolate covered with the peanut butter filled. But I will tell you, last night we were all there together making donuts, and I had an apple fritter fresh off the fryer and freshly glazed, and it was out of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's the chocolate. I'm the chocolate cream filled guy, but I'm with Steve though. There's nothing better than a fresh twist right off that line. I mean, it melts in your mouth. It's amazing.
It was kind of mind blowing that for me, it's the twist. I liked fry cake when I was little, but the twist has become it. And I didn't think there was a way to improve upon that. And then when we had it off the fryer, I was like, I can't even. It was unreal. Never had a fritter before, but I had it off the fryer also, and it is pretty awesome.
I think the tricky part is right off the fryer twist or whatever, but if it's been out a little bit, I mean, I'm a powdered fry cake guy.
Nice. Now, you open to like suggestions from customers, like if they ever said like, hey, have you ever thought about like a peanut butter and jelly donut or something like that?
Every time we post something on Facebook, we're getting feedback like that. And it's kind of cool to see all the love people have for what's already there, but then they throw out thoughts, suggestions, and they throw out things that are not there now that are like, hey, back in the day you had this. Do you still have it? And it's like, oh, well, we should revisit that. And so, yeah, absolutely. Lots of feedback coming in all the time.
Nice.
We love it. We love the response on social media. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right now we have a lot of work to catch up on before we do new creations. There's still a lot of updates building wise and stuff like that, but we would like to start doing like donut of the month, and I like to do the different wing flavors. I can't wait to dig into the different donut flavors and other suggestions from other people, and the social media world is different when it comes to creations. You can just type something in on the donut on TikTok and you'll get all kinds of recipes and different things to do. So
we have a comment from the audience that you would happily volunteer if you ever need someone to verify that the recipe has not changed.
Come visit us. We'd love to see you.
Absolutely. And as she said, so many great memories from Mighty Fine. I bet you if you just took a survey at your business and just said, give us one memory that you have from this place, I guarantee you some people would go back and just almost be in tears, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So now let's talk about like your future goals and everything like that. What are your hopes and dreams for the future of Mighty Fine? And I think we lost someone, by the way.
Why don't you go with that one, El Presidente?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Moving slow is hard for this entire team. We're all doers. We're all move forward. We're all idea people. So we're keeping that in mind. But yeah, we absolutely have ideas about. The first thing is to look at the current location. We love I personally have become very attached to it already, just being there. So we want to look at what's happening at the current location and make sure we're hitting on every cylinder. Like, one of the things that was big is we just didn't want to, Brad mentioned this a little earlier, that, pressure he feels like, I do not want to mess this up. And he's done a fabulous job. So our initial goal has been to keep that on task, and it's going very well. We're also looking at everything from a business system standpoint. We all have that experience as to, what else can we streamline? We're looking at things like a POS system. Steve and I have been working on bringing that in with everybody's feedback. Online ordering will be a thing closer in the future, we hope, than we had planned originally. And there's a lot of ideas. I know there's a lot of constant questions about where else we might be. Does anybody want to talk about that?
That was my next question. If there was ever a plan of expansion or
you guys want me to talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead, Sherry. If
we
you're
have some breaking news coming on here.
We don't, but because that, if you ask like top questions, please, are you changing the recipe? At some point, we may look at that. It's something that we're going to move slowly with, but our plans are to overall, Steven said it at the beginning, take this so that it's not just, an Erie thing. It's that everybody knows the taste and quality. I've traveled a lot. I think all of us have in different ways. I've never had donuts like this. It's just not out there quite like what we do. I've even done some research since, we took over in some travels that I've done, and I'm like, not happening. So we have something really special here, and we want to honor what it is and take it to another level. Guys?
I can tell you a side story today. I was sitting out front with a couple of our staff, and I looked at them and I said, you guys really realize how many people you've made happy? We're going to remind you of this constantly. Like, I know you're back there icing them and making them and all, but do you really know? And they just kind of looked and went, we've been doing it 20, 30 years. We just come in and do what we're supposed to do. But for us, what was awesome is we really know, we just know how much it meant in our childhood and throughout. So we're trying to make sure they know that as well. But we're well aware of what people out in the community, I can speak for all of us in this. We're just walking around the community and people will bring it up and say thank you, which is cool. It's nice to hear that, because if it would have went away, it would have been heartbreaking for a lot of people, including us. So that's a cool thing to hear people say thanks.
Yeah, for sure. I think also, I think all of us would say this. Like, I just feel that staff, when you asked about the first day, one of the things for me was to watch them do what they do. I just felt like, wow, these people are really making this all happen. They are all workers. They are all on point. Like, it's really great. And Brad, you could speak to that a little from the night crew too. I've seen it in the night crew. I've seen it in the day crew, but like, they blow my mind every day with how effective, efficient, and genuinely caring about what they do, that they are.
No, I would 100% agree. And it's been different. They're getting used to our leadership style, especially the night crew kind of coming in and switching things up. They've been used to working with Kevin, who was great for the last 40 plus years, to somebody who's been making donuts for 6 weeks. So, I really rely on them and their knowledge and their work ethic to help get us through, because, we've been making more donuts than we ever have. And that's a great thing. So we're just going to keep on improving on that.
Yeah.
And speaking of the previous owner, do you still keep in touch with previous owners? Like, do you still keep in touch with Kevin? Do you still keep anything like that? Have you heard from him recently?
Oh, we sent him on vacation. We haven't heard from him yet. We're on his first vacation in 40 years. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think after talking with him, I worked he was training me. So I was shoulder to shoulder with him 7 hours a day for 5 days a week. I think he was just trying to detach himself a little bit. So he's got his space right now, and I'm sure we'll be reaching out, or he'll be reaching out. His son's popped in to see how we're doing at night a couple of times since we've taken over. So that's been nice, just to have him come in and see how things are going. So Alex comes in occasionally. So yeah. Nice.
I love it. So one thing that we've all kind of discussed during this episode is like a memory. Like this one donut shop has a special place in all of your hearts. That's why you went in on this. That's why you became a team. That's why you wanted to see it keep on running. What are some of your favorite memories of Mighty Fine?
My father used to take me there on Saturdays up on what road was it up there on 38th in Washington? That was my home Mighty Fine that we went to. Just that, Saturday mornings going there and, walking in and smelling that smell, and, I'd get 2 chocolate cream fills with a chocolate milk, and, my day, ready to go for my day.
I grew up closer to the original one, the Parade Street, and my dad would take us there pretty much every Saturday and Sunday, and I'll let Doug and Sherry talk about the memories with their dad, because every time I'd go to their house in the summertime, their dad would always be buying donuts too. But Yeah, just a lot of memories. And I realized after talking with my brother, food really brings people together for conversation. And I'm not one for food, but Mighty Fine is like dear to a lot of people, and it creates conversation. And like you said, it builds this emotion. I can tell you, I flew recently to Vegas, and I took donuts out there to family because they missed the donuts here. And I was like the fourth person that went through TSA that they were asking about what are these Mighty Fine donuts, because everybody loves to travel with them too. So try and figure that out in the future.
Sure, Brad, or you want
Go ahead. We share similar memories, so you go for it.
With our dad growing up, it was a part of like our newspaper route. So when it got done Saturday and Sunday, we basically, it was even more than that. It was kind of a ritual at our house. There was pizza and donuts, at nighttime pizza, daytime donuts. But we grew up with rules in our household, meaning this. I always laugh when people come in and order the donuts and I watch, because I'm sure Otis will get a smile out of this because he remembers kids staying over. But he would say when he'd go to leave, all right, I'm getting how many donuts? And everyone would have to give the exact list. And whether it was 12, 24, 8, it did not matter. And he'd say, now understand this. I'm going to go over and get this. But when I come back, you do not touch anything except what you ordered. And if you do, there's going to be a problem. And just a side funny story. Our dog growing up, name was Sammy.
Okay, I just lost power in my office for a second.
Whoop. I think Doug's frozen.
Doug's froze.
Well,
No,
into the dog story.
Did you see the flashes in mine? Like, I just lost power in my office for a second.
Oh, come on, Tony Starks. Let's,
I think
The
Sherry's
generator's
froze.
on right now, so yeah, I Tony Starked it.
Just when he was getting to the dog story.
Oh, I know.
Is Sherry frozen too?
Looks like Sherry's froze
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
They must have had the same issue.
Yeah.
Just
You
when they were
guys
getting to the dog story.
I think Otis and Brad are on their phones, and we're all on the computer. Would be my guess.
I'm actually sitting. I'm on my phone, sitting behind Mighty Fine actually right now. So.
There they go. They'll rejoin us. They'll rejoin us. We'll ask him about the dog story soon.
They just brought me the burger of the month. Let's see, get in here. It's a meatloaf. Oh, it's a meatloaf burger. Meatloaf burger with gravy. I can't wait to eat it. Look at that.
There you go.
That does look pretty good.
Yeah, it's meatloaf.
Wish I had known. I'd have came there to do the podcast.
Otis, you know what you need? You need a hamburger with Mighty Fine donuts as the bun.
Yes. Ooh. And a sub. We got to do the eclairs donuts.
Right?
Ooh.
Love it.
Eclairs.
So Sherry, what's the dog story? I got to ask that.
Did we all get cut off at the same time?
I think
power.
I think the story, Doug, he tells it so much better than me, but my dad was sitting there eating his twist donut. He was in his chair and kind of, kicked back, and he had the donut like hanging out like this, and the dog came by and swiped it. And it was the last twist.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you knew my dad, which Otis gave the thumbs up, he was a fiery guy. So he was, and it was just hysterical. So I hope I didn't, like I said, Doug tells it pretty good, and he has this nice setup and all that. So, but yeah, we have a lot of memories. I mean, like that zero hesitation. We all had donuts together at, 8 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday after night sleeping over and stuff. So a lot of fun.
Dougie Donuts.
Yeah.
Hey, I tried to finish your story, man.
Sorry, something's going on outside, and like internet went down and everything, and I went, really? Right there?
It happens. It's not the first time something like that's happened. We've had people that have just completely gone away from the show, like they're in the middle of a story, their phone died or something like that, and then that was just it. I'm just leaving here like, okay, that was a fun episode. We'll see you next time.
Well, sorry about that.
You're good.
Super fun is I've worked a lot behind the counter, and I think we've all experienced this where it's just that connection of not just the connection with the donuts, but we're seeing so many people from, childhood too. Like I know I've had a million people that I've seen, but also that have walked in and like, oh, I coached, Steve in high school, or hey, my kids know Otis, or yesterday it was, hey, Brad works with so and so in the school district, and then everybody knows Doug and blah blah blah. And it's like, for me, it's been fun to reconnect with people from my past and then see just the excitement of everybody that knows one of us.
Mm-hmm. I got a good memory for you guys. I don't know. Do you guys remember the East Side location?
Yeah, Eastway. Was it in Eastway?
Harbor Creek?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep. In that plaza that's now the Giant Eagle Plaza.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember because I live on that side of town. I live in Harbor Creek area. I remember being a young boy. I must have been like 3 or 4 when it was still there. And that was just like what you guys are saying. Meeting my grandparents there every Sunday morning, going there for just a Sunday morning donut, Those are memories that you can't replace. Like, those are memories you can't make up or just be like, I remember going, getting, like, I can remember what donut I got. I can remember, like, just the sights and everything. So
Yep.
that was kind of like what you guys were kind of like aiming towards when it came to, like, you were kind of on the topic of expansion. You're kind of like thinking something like that, or?
Yeah, right now we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna take it slow and hopefully do it on the, starting once a weekend at the restaurant. Start doing something with the donuts and doing brunch and chicken and donuts or something to start. But I think it's gonna be a good 6 months to a year to get this building and everything to where we want it before we can even think about going to the west side. But we have a couple wholesale accounts that got a hold of us and maybe want to start, selling on the west side for now. And like I said, at the restaurant, maybe we can start doing it once, twice a month on the weekends, and just bring some donuts over here and get them on the west side.
So once everything is like solidified and everything, there is plans for like more partnerships, more, like you said, getting that name, getting the Mighty Fine brand out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely partnerships. We are doing something with the Erie Horror Fest this weekend too. So support them, guys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about us, I think that's before we even ventured into this, we've all been community based. We're all from here. We all love it here. We've all, from our business end, and I mean, our businesses we have, and like Brad said, his first time into doing this, but Brad has helped in how many events have we ran, from golf outings to just stuff. So all of us in running those two have just somehow, some way been involved in this community, and we love it. So.
Wonderful, wonderful. That brings up a good follow-up question to me. What do you guys love most about the Erie community?
I see it a lot, how they come together for benefits or somebody's sick or just the parties that, that when you go out of town, you don't hear of the stag and drags. You don't hear of the, some of the things that Erie, I think they do their own thing. And I know a lot of people have negative things to say about Erie, but I think as a community, when we all need to come together, I think we do.
The funny thing about like Pittsburgh, people all go, oh, you went to this high school? That's like, I'll go, you don't know this person? And they'll go, no, that's like 5 to 10 miles away. Why would I know them? And I'm going, in Erie, you could bring up any name to someone from Northeast to Girard to going towards Edinburgh. Somehow, some way, someone knows someone that you know. It's a big town, but a small town in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Brad?
No, I agree with everything they say. And, it's, you ever see those, I don't know if they're bumper stickers, it's okay to love Erie type, those things. And I mean, it really is. It's a great place to raise a family. And I have lifelong friends here. And, my daughter lives in New York City. She went to school out there. She's living out there. And, she's home now. It just doesn't have the same feel. So like that to it. So yeah.
Steve?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think the community is great. I know through my technology business, I give back a lot to the community through different sponsorships and stuff like that. And no, there's a lot of benefit, and the area is what you make of it. You can go just about anywhere in the world, and the only thing that's going to be different in my mind is the weather. And let's be real, you can't beat the weather here in the summertime. I'm sure everybody could say in the wintertime and the rest of the time it sucks, but no, it's a great place to bring up a family, and everybody supports something that they really are passionate about. And that brings me back to what I said before. I didn't realize how passionate people are about food until I bought into Mighty Fine Donuts.
That's exactly, you guys hit the nail on the head. But Sherry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, they all kind of nailed it in different ways. I also, I've traveled and I've always chose to come back here. And I know whenever I'm on that ride back, plane, car, whatever, I get this very excited feeling. And it's always felt to me like, why, if you get that happy to go back there, would you ever go elsewhere? And, this is an example of lifelong friendships and, all of this about the connection. And Otis is spot on with like the support that we all come together and, you find each other at different points through the years. And it's just a really great place. We have a lot of things that we can do here. And what Steve said, you make, what you make of it. It's a great place.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are absolutely spot on. It is that place that you could go miles away from and then come back and be like, I miss this place so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could go away for college for a couple of years and the entire time you're at school, you'd just be like, what I would do for a Mighty Fine donut this morning and a pepperoni ball in the afternoon, just like something simple like that. Or just what I would do to just look out my window and see the lake right there, just something that, every one of us probably takes for granted every single day. Like we can just walk down the road and, hey, there's the lake.
Yeah.
Yes.
I must have it made because I can get a donut and a pepperoni ball every day now.
And probably get on the lake too.
I got about 200 pepperoni balls in the cooler right now.
Hey, share the wealth.
Yeah, right.
Tell you what, it's hard to be at that donut shop when you look at them all and you're going, oh my gosh, and to just not want to grab 20 of them and just eat away. But strong-willed, I guess.
Something I want to say, I don't know if I said this earlier, and if I did, I apologize, but I always stuck with like the two that were important to me. And since we've been there, I've started to like at least say, well, why not? I'll try this, try that. And I'm kind of like, I have been missing out, which speaks more to the Mighty Fine name because I'm like, there's so much more that I wouldn't even have tried. Like if you're not a person that's tried different things, you need to do it because I was missing out. Like the blueberry is amazing. The crumb donut is amazing. And those are just things I wasn't trying. So get an assorted box, try them all, do a taste test.
The funniest thing is it's probably cheaper to try them when you didn't own the business.
Yeah. And now
it costs us all a lot of money to try all these donuts.
Love it.
And people don't realize there's a whole nother bakery side to this that we haven't even touched that Mighty Fine used to do a lot of baking, and we'd like to start doing that, cupcakes, cakes, stuff for birthdays and, donut cakes and stuff like that. So there's still a whole nother side of this that we haven't been able to even talk about because we got so much going on with everything else.
But that's in the future plans?
100%. Yes.
Wonderful. I know where I'm getting my next birthday cake now.
Brad had it for his wedding. I remember when it was New Year's Eve. I don't remember how many years ago, but he had the Mighty Fine Donut Tower. So that, I'll tell you, when I was doing the calls to everyone, that was definitely a spark, Brad.
Oh yeah, instead of a wedding cake, we had a Mighty Fine Donut Tower. That was 10 some years ago. I should probably remember exactly how long ago, but it was.
You better remember that.
That's a great memory. That's the memory to share too.
There you go. There you go. And I wish we had thought of that a month ago. I'm newly married. I got married in September. Thank you. And that's one thing, like kind of like an Erie memory for me is the fact that I took Massachusetts' greatest treasure and brought her here to Erie, Pennsylvania, and she never wanted to leave.
Aww.
She never, even with the 6 feet of snow that we get in the winters, even when, like she can't even see out her window in the morning. She came here and she's like, why do I want to leave? Why do I want to go? So to bring all those people from Massachusetts, and I hope some of them found Mighty Fine. I hope some of them got a taste of it, because we definitely suggested it. I'm like, if you're looking for a nice breakfast that you want to share some family memories with, go to this donut shop right down on this street. You won't regret it. So
true story.
So you got fans in Massachusetts too.
That's awesome.
Now, the beauty of this show is, like, as you've been seeing, I'd like to show some comments from my audience. I do have another audience question, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
We have a fan of the Boston cream donuts, and he's kind of wondering, like, why do people prefer maybe the cream filled and, maybe don't like Boston cream, kind of in the way.
I don't.
Could I
Go ahead.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, like I have a couple Amish guys at my house working. He likes the cream filled, the Boston one, and I think the cream is more sweeter or something than some people's taste. Like I like sweet stuff, so I think maybe that could be a reason.
Nice. So it's a matter of sweet taste, like the sweetness in it.
Yeah, some say that the chocolate cream filled are too sweet. And I'm like, I don't think so.
Awesome. So, buddies, where can we learn more about Mighty Fine Donuts for those who aren't living in Erie?
Right now, social media, we're working on web presence, but social media, if you just give us a follow on that, or Instagram and TikTok, we're on all of those. We're updating constantly. We're throwing out shots of donuts that are going to make you want them. So we're sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, we like to have fun. We like to be present. We like to, do all that. So please follow us and just keep watching what we're doing. It'll just keep getting better.
Awesome. Love it. So now I got 2 more questions for you guys. This is to make it an official Buddycast. This is how I put my stamp on the episodes. The first question is brought to us by my buddy Jonas Kane at #positivity. He wants to know, in your own words, what does it mean to be someone's buddy?
Doug, do you want to take this?
I had to say, for me, and to be someone's buddy, they're like family. It's like a brotherhood. That's what it is to me. And this is my crew. These are my buddies. I guess a word that Brad uses compared to buddy is like his tribe. We always say, like, who's our tribe? You know what I mean, Brad? But it really does become that. Like, we're lifelong friends, and it's just we're buddies. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. Like, we say that to each other, like, "What's up, buddy?" Just constantly. So friends become family, and family becomes more of a family. I mean, you're just that tight.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead.
I always say, your friends are the family you get to pick, and that's kind of something that happened here. Like, I mean, we've been friends on this thread for over 30 years. Some of us 35 years, and buddy's somebody that's there for you. Not just when times are good and times everything's going smooth, but those down times, and somebody there to pick you up, and just somebody you can rely on. And we got a good system here. I got some old buddies in this Mighty Five group. I got some new buddies too. Got a female buddy now too, so that's cool. So that's what it means to me, is just being there for each other. It's almost I moved on from buddy, and I call these guys my brothers. So that's kind of where things evolve to.
Love it.
Yeah, honestly, you guys said it best. It's all about family and somebody that's got your back, no matter what. During the highs, yeah, it's great. It's like sports, right? When you're winning, everything's easy. When you're losing, that's when you really realize who your buddies are. And we're going through some stuff right now, not like personally, but getting this business going and trying to get it to where we want. And there's a lot of challenges, and we're all digging in and grinding, and everybody's got each other's back.
Yeah, I absolutely feel that is just that, you're definitely there. And then you're understanding as somebody's navigating different situations, you're understanding that with patience and extending a bit of grace as they work through that. And that everybody's, we're all doing that. And it's just like really awesome to see it all come together. I like seeing how everyone slides into these different roles and how it keeps evolving. And we're all just there and supporting each other.
Awesome, wonderful, great meanings of what it means to be a buddy. Because you guys, from just meeting you today, because I've never met any of you beforehand, you can all attest. We probably ran into somewhere like waiting in line or something like that. But I've never had a full conversation with you. I've talked to Sherry online about setting up this episode, but never have, been that guy. Never been the guy like, "Hey Otis, let's sit down and chat at your restaurant," or "Hey Brad, let's go, have lunch tomorrow," something like that. I can tell you guys are more than partners. You are buddies. So, and you're official buddies on Buddycast. You're not guests. You're buddies.
Well, since we consider you a buddy, anytime you want to come over, we'll give you a tour of the donut shop.
Ooh,
Yes.
you know I'm going to take you up on that, right?
Because it's honestly, you're always buying donuts on one side, and you never realize all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and it's pretty impressive to see.
Mm-hmm. I will definitely take you up on that. I will keep in contact with you. The final question I have for you guys today is what we call the ultimate Buddycast buddy question. You ready for this one?
Ooh, okay.
For anybody out there who wants to do what you guys have done, take a local business that they love and, keep it going, go into like a business partnership, just make sure that they're keeping a specific brand up and running. What's your advice to them?
A lot.
That's a tough one. Oh, look at Maria's on.
Just make sure you got all your eyes.
Can I interrupt, Otis? Everyone, hire Maria Peavy. No,
Maria!
No, don't take her.
yeah, she's
Hire our
amazing.
staff. That's the thing.
Yeah, they're awesome.
That's so cool. Go ahead, Otis.
Well, Brad.
No, just owning your own business is a lot more work than people think. Just make sure you're gonna have the time to do it, and make sure you got all your T's crossed and I's dotted. They say,
Due diligence.
your due diligence. Yeah, get your legal team together. Accountants. Make sure you have all that. Make sure you're paying the taxes right, and there's a lot to it that. Deep down that people should know. It's not just all about going making the business and making a couple dollars, and there's legal things you got to do with that money or taxes and stuff like that, and just stuff like that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like selling the donuts and stuff like that, that's the easy part. The hardest part is what Otis is talking about, all the behind the scenes to make sure that we can get that donut out the door. You can come in and play the lottery, or that milk was delivered by the local vendor or whatnot, or we're getting all of our vendors in line to make sure that they're continually sending the stuff in, and then we're paying our bills on time. So there's a lot of factors to make sure that you guys get your donuts.
I mean, I look at it on a little bit more of a philosophical level. Is you got to believe in yourself, you got to bet on yourself, and just kind of. If it was easy, everybody would do it, and everybody could do it. So yeah, everything that Otis and Steve are talking about, like I had no idea about until my text messages just continually dinged night after night while we were getting this thing going. But it was all, I kept going back to, keeping this in Erie. It was something we loved, and I knew we had a good team, and I knew that everybody's going to work hard and work together. So. If you have that, if you could surround yourself with good people and just have the confidence, I think, a lot of the other stuff, while yes, you got to make sure your T's are crossed and I's are dotted, but you got to have that want to first.
Go ahead, Sherry.
I just think knowing what you're getting into and making sure that you really love it, because that's where it comes in, when things get tough, and knowing that it's not all the fun stuff. There's the other side. There's, the staying awake. There's the worry. There's the making sure that, you're responsible for other people and what they need from you. And just making sure that you very much love it.
Yeah, I mean, I can say for my end, and I look around, like these guys have played on teams with me, but role models, there's a lot of people being around success. And success isn't just money. It's people. I think Steve said this earlier, but when times get tough, that's when you really get to see who shines. And when I think about our staff right now, it's been pretty busy. I think everyone can say that. It's been record setting in a sense. Brad's joke from the start was, let's just make one donut. Let's just start with that. Well, it's been pretty crazy. But the thing that I think all of us can give advice to anyone that wants to do this is, if we were walking into this first time ever, not knowing, we might have panicked, but we're used to it. I mean, we've had experience from role models, from situations, from coaches, and whatever it might be through time. And it's probably taught us patience, persistence, passion for what you're doing, and all that stuff. I mean, a plan, all that stuff has helped us. For someone that wants to be out there to do that, just be prepared for pretty much everything. It's all going to come your way, and just go for it.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant advice. I lied. I got one more question for you because this just popped in my head. What's your advice for anyone who's out there who's never tried Mighty Fine before?
Just come
You're
in.
missing out, man. You're missing
Come
out. You got to show up. And soon we'll be delivering to you. So I don't care how far you live.
One's not enough.
How about go on a try it instead of a diet? Because if you come in, I promise you will. I can attest to it. If you see my stuff, no, it's literally, if you try it, you will absolutely love it. It's awesome. I mean, if you haven't done it and you do, you're going to be like, wow, and you'll want to come back.
Yeah,
I like that saying. I like that saying. Try it. Don't go on a diet.
Yeah.
My whole life.
Alrighty. Well, buddies, thank you times 5 so much for being buddies here on Buddycast. Thank you for doing what you're doing with the Erie community, keeping an Erie brand alive and keeping it the way that it's always been. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for making sure that other people not only get the opportunity to have a Mighty Fine Donut, but have a memory at Mighty Fine Donuts as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's why we did
Thanks for having us.
For all my buddies out there. Yep. For all my buddies out there, these are my new buddies. Steven, Otis, Doug, Sherry, and Brad. And hey, I have one favor to ask you before we close out this episode. Well, 2 actually. Number 1, stick around for a minute if you want to chat for a quick second. But number 2, whatever you do today, tomorrow, next week, next month, even next year, promise me you're going to go out and you're going to go be someone's buddy.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like I said, these are my buddies.
We'll be a buddy to every.
Since I'm at Otis 12, you got to come get the meatloaf burger of the month on a cornbread bun. This is brought to you by Otis 12. I had to put a plug in since they let me use the banquet room.
Sounds good. I'm glad I did this episode before lunch. So.
I know. I'm hungry now, Otis.
Yeah, can we come eat?
Yeah, cornbread bun. This is good. Yeah.
Woo!
Sounds good.
Make it a mighty fine day.
These are my new buddies, the Mighty 5. Please have a mighty fine donut. Have a mighty fine day. I'm your host, Nick Sorensen. Thank you for joining us on everybody's favorite show.
Well, the days are going fast, buddy, we've got to make them last, buddy, before they've all gone past, buddy, tune in to Buddycast. But don't feel none, it could make it, buddy, here on Buddycast.